this was fired from within Gaza. It misfired. It then landed in the car park next to the hospital.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
all I ask you is this, Ambassador.
Yes. I am an ambassador. I'm an official. And I tell you with certainty, this was an Israeli airstrike.
You think he's lying, President Biden?
Yes, he is lying. He is lying. And he is part of...
That's a big charge to make about
well,
the President of the United States.
He has just lied before getting any evidence. He doesn't have personnel. If he has personnel, he must provide protection for our civilians. Then he is complicit in the crimes against
When you see that video, what do you think you're
then Biden is
what do you think you're seeing, Ambassador?
It's whitewashing and gaslighting, as we have been seeing over decades.
What if you're wrong?
And, well, what if I am wrong? Bring me again here. I'll tell you what happened. Israel did it. Israel thought the world was giving it the green light, that it was okay to do so. But when we did it, they did not expect the outcry, and then they did it again as they do all the time.
Why is the crater so small?
As they do all the time, they simply go out and deny it. Few weeks from now, or few months, Israel will come out and admit it. I'm not challenged by you, Piers. You and all the mainstream.
Well, that's completely untrue.
No, it is true.
All that says to me is you've never seen me on air.
I have seen you.
Well,
I have seen your interview.
You saw me for years as CNN.
I have seen your interview.
You've seen me interview Netanyahu twice.
I have seen your interview just a few days ago with the Israeli ambassador. She did say here on this seat, that they provided the whole south of Gaza as a safe zone, and they are building shelters to Palestinian civilians. She told you that.
And I said
Did you challenge her?
I said that.
Did you challenge her?
I challenged her like this.
No, you did not challenge her. She lied.
There's no asymmetry.
She lied with you.
Let me be clear.
And she said that the south of Gaza is safe. You know how many people were killed in the south of Gaza only in the last 48 hours? My nephew, Ammar.
I saw it.
You saw Ammar.
Yes.
You saw what happened to Ammar.
Yes.
They live in the south. So an Israeli official sits here and tells the world that the south of Gaza is safe and people should go there en masse, therefore ethnically cleansing these people to the south to actually slaughter them. And then you, Piers, do not look her in the eye and tell her, stop lying. You know that Hamas is just a militant group that was created 20, 30 years ago.
You think they're terrorists?
What is the definition of terrorism?
Well, I'll just ask you.
What is the definition of terrorism?
The UK government.
I'll give you the
UK government.
I'll give you the definition.
Has them as a prescribed
Piers,
terror
I'll give you the international United Nations definition of terrorism. It is the unlawful use of violence against civilians to terrorize them for the sake of a political agenda. Agreed? Agreed? Do you? And answer me, please.
Well, no, I've asked you a question.
Do you consider Israel to be
Ambassador?
With
respect, I'm asking you
a terrorist state? Do you consider Israel to be a terrorist
Ambassador,
state? Israel has been targeting civilians in front of your eyes for 75 years.
But why should I answer any of your questions if you won't answer mine?
Deliberate targeting, and not just this round. 2014, you know all that happened. 2005.
I'm very aware of the history.
Okay, then you are
I've been very critical of Israel over the years.
Is Israel a terrorist state?
I'm asking you the question.
Is Israel a terrorist state?
Ambassador.
Well, this is the asymmetry.
Ambassador.
Answer me and I'll answer you about Hamas.
Will you now take the opportunity to condemn what Hamas did on October the 7th? I only ask you one more time.
22 Arab states convened at the beginning of this, including my state, my government, and they condemned the killing of civilians from all sides.
Well,
I'll tell you why. I would be the first to condemn. If I ever saw you asking an Israeli official to condemn, did you ask the ambassador to condemn all the atrocities?
I will be asking.
I'll tell you.
I will be asking the representative of the ambassador.
No, you have the ambassador before me. You did not ask her to condemn anything. I represent the PLO, the government.
I know.
Hamas is not part of the government. That legitimate representation I represent have committed for 30 years for first non-violence and negotiations. I belong to that camp. You're asking the wrong person. Committed to international resolutions and committed to the recognition of Israel. We recognize the state of Israel. The moment I accept this logic of condemnation, in the lack of Israeli officials being asked by you and everybody else to condemn, that moment I accept that my people are lesser of a people, that we are not equal, that we are a lesser of a, children of a God. The moment I see that equity, that balance, I'll be the first to use any word you want. But so long as there is this imbalance, this racism against Palestinians.
But I'm not racist against Palestinians.
No, I think there are people who are racist. I think anti-Palestinianism is flourishing everywhere. I think we are seen as to be less of value than the Israeli lives. You brought me here. You're bringing everybody. This has been the focus of everyone. You have located your moral compass on the 7th of October. Did you locate your moral compass on the 200 people killed this year in the West Bank? Since the 7th of October, the first moment, Israel started preparing and putting together a huge campaign to delegitimize the Palestinian people, to link Hamas to ISIS, and then link Hamas to the Palestinian people, then link the Palestinian people to ISIS, then do the ethnic cleansing and the mass destruction and the mass murder you are following on yours. The international media, mainstream media, were literally following
Let me ask you
the
a question.
You talked about Iraq all the time. ISIS is a group of criminals who gathered from all over, mercenaries who were there to kill and only to kill with no real agenda. You agree?
Yes.
You think Palestinians are that?
No.
So why are we using these terms?
Ambassador,
we are using these terms to allow the Israeli war machine to kill en masse.
It seems to me, after 30 years of covering this conflict, we've never been further away from peace between Israel and Palestine. How do we get to peace here?
By listening from your heart and your brain that this is a people's struggle for 106 years. 106 years because it all started here. The Balfour Declaration by the British Empire, where they promised our land without consulting us. And they turned us in that 67 words into non-Jewish minorities. We were 98% of the population. We had lived there for millennia. We were the cardinal of civilization. We produced every prophet. Palestine is the birthplace of Christianity. We were literally the hub of the region, the linkage between Europe, Asia, and Africa. And all of a sudden, we are only a non-Jewish minorities. And then Britain took over our land. And not only they denied our peoplehood, the nationhood in 1917, but they denied us during the mandate our statehood because the contract with the League of Nations was Britain will come and take mandate of Palestine to prepare us and to recognize us as a state as Palestine. You know what happened in the Nakba and the mass expulsion, the Jewish militias at the time ethnically cleansed 2/3 of our nation, including including my own parents. So
I know the history. And I have great sympathy, by the way, with what happened to Palestine.
Since then, my people, 67 and the military occupation that we discussed, since then, this is a people's struggle for freedom, for justice, for equality. This is a people's cry to survive.
How do we get to peace?
By full application of international rules. We did not create the post-World War II
two-state solution.
Yes, of course, Israel has to end its occupation that began in 1967. Refugee rights must be respected in accordance with international law. Two neighborly countries can get together with neighborly relations, but the Palestinian people have the right to defend themselves, and a state. We don't have an army. A state has an army. A state will do so. So occupation is the root cause of all this discussion.
I have to end it there.